Judge Lambert has now joined the panel, and Ms. Lugo is here.
Good morning.
And Ms. Lugo, you're here, and we're here actually on MP, a mother of MP versus the Department of Children and Families. And this is a show cause hearing. Ms. Lugo, we ordered you to come and appear and show cause why you shouldn't be sanctioned for failure to comply with a number of this court's orders directing you to respond, and we give you an opportunity to tell us why you haven't responded.
And I apologize for that. This year has been pretty tough on me. My mom passed away in October of 2016. We had Matthew. My mother-in-law passed away that weekend. My aunt, the only member left in my family on my father's side, passed that same month. My mother was going down from that point, and we had her and taken care of her for 12 years, and she was in Alzheimer's in the last stage.
And she passed away when? I'm sorry? I couldn't hear what you said. She
I'm
passed
sorry,
away
I
when?
apologize. My mom was in Alzheimer's, the last stage.
When did she pass away, you
She
said?
passed away in March of this year.
March of 2017?
Yes, sir. Okay. So my husband and I had been taking care of her for 12 years, and we did everything for her. That was the beginning of a stress situation that kind of unraveled me, but I still went to work and I did my job as best as I could. During the summer, my psychologist, I get treated through the VA for stress, and I take medication. She ordered some medical leave to try to relieve the stress of what was going on. During the time that this case took place, which was September of 19, unfortunately, we're from Puerto Rican extraction, and that morning we heard that the Hurricane Maria was going to be hitting the island straight on, and I have family there. My nieces, whom we're very close, my sister-in-law. When this took place, this was a hearing where I had asked to vacate a default order because my client didn't appear for her trial date that we had scheduled. We call it a soft date. She appears, then we set a trial date certain where the case gets resolved. She failed to appear back in May, and she didn't come back until she was arrested on a warrant. So in this case, on the 19th, during the time that we had hearings, my client had been participating because she had been arrested. And that date, which was set for a default hearing, we argued, and of course, there was no law or case law that we could bring up that could effectively give the judge any basis for her to withdraw or vacate that default. During that time, the guardian ad litem and the Department of Children and Families argued to impose the final judgment there immediately. I argued against because the father's side had not been resolved at all. There were looking...
What?
I'm sorry?
What we want to know is why you didn't respond to the orders of this court.
When I
Particularly October 19th
sorry?
order, you were ordered to file a report within 5 days indicating the status of the appellant's representation, as well as a certificate indicating whether a transcript would be required, and so forth and so on. And that was sent to the email address which you provided. and the order wasn't acknowledged, and there was no report or certificate. Then, on October 25th, there was an order to show cause why you failed to comply with the October 19th order. You acknowledged the email that day that it was sent, but yet you did not respond. And then there was an order on October 26th to respond to the motion to dismiss within 5 days, and still no response. And then on November 7th, an order directing you to show cause why you shouldn't be sanctioned for failing to comply with the October 25th and 26th order.
And
Then there was, no initial brief filed, and then there was some contact on the morning of November 27th by you, or by our clerk's office. You called back and said you just received the order, and that you'd be filing a response on the same day or by the next day, but still no response. And then, so this is why we're here, so.
yes, ma'am. And I have to say that during the time that this was taking place, the October and the November, I was working, trying to get my sister-in-law, my niece, and my nephew out of Puerto Rico 3 times. We were working on their passage, and 3 times we were denied. And I was really mostly out of the office. And when I saw that the motion to dismiss was filed, I thought this is going to be the end of that. And in my mind, I had, when I filed a notice of appeal, I sent, this is my recollection, this is why I'm asking, please bear with me, because I was, like I said, pretty much under a lot of stress trying to work too many things. In my mind, I recall having done a motion in order for an appeal attorney to be appointed. I also did the record for, and the motion to appoint a court reporter. So I thought this was all underway. So since I had done that, I continued to work on my family's situation.
I understand how you thought you might have
Yes.
gotten the ball rolling,
That's
but when you get the October 19th, the 25th, the 26th, the November 7th, I mean, any one of those would have told you you didn't get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And every one of them, well, the last 3, I guess,
And I don't
tell
think-
us why you haven't done this. And I can understand why you may not be able to file a 50-page brief or go try a case or anything else, but to file absolutely no response to this court when we're truly asking you what's going on, it would have been very simple to say, I'm in the middle of this, and trust me, we got plenty of motions for extensions of time, continuances, and so forth,
Sure.
for very similar reasons, maybe not every reason that you're talking
Right.
about, but to have absolutely no response is something we're just having a great deal of trouble understanding as anything
Yes.
other than, we don't matter to you as a practicing lawyer, and that doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't, and that's one of the points that I've been trying to work on. I was absolutely overwhelmed, and I can say probably paralyzed with all of the situation going on. I realized, because I've never had to come here in a situation like this before this court, and this is
You
the
ever
first
appeared
time.
in this court before?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever done an appeal in this court?
Yes, I have. I've done an appeal on a civil matter.
Long ago?
I'm going to say it was 2015 or 2016.
Okay.
I was answering an appeal. And it was a civil case. But at that time, I didn't have all of these issues that were ongoing. Like I said, I have felt paralyzed and unable to take action. And for that, I mean, I berate myself. I have no excuse that I can give this court that would make any sense.
What is it about the order that told you to be here today that was different than the other orders that told you to react?
Because I did not do what the order said. So I said, I have to come in and face and discuss this. And actually, my colleague, I thought it was on the 13th, but actually on the 13th in the order, I misread it. I'm having issues with, misreading also.
What about when you contacted the clerk's office and told the
I'm
clerk's
sorry?
office? There was a time on the 27th
I have an
of
issue with
November.
hearing on the right side. If you could talk a little louder, I apologize.
That's all right. There was a time on the 27th of November where you contacted the clerk's office and told them that a response would be coming that afternoon or the next morning, and we never got a response at all.
Correct.
What's the reason for not sending in a response when you affirmatively
I
told
had
the clerk's
some
office
time.
that you would?
Actually, I thought I had some time, and the time just went away.
But you told them it would be in that day or the following day.
I did. And I got sidetracked. There was so many things going on. And like I said, I thought I had time. Like I said, I have absolutely no,
But what would make you think that you had extra time if you hadn't asked the court for that extra time? I mean, we gave you, if you are ordered to respond and you miss the deadline, and the clerk's office gives you a call to try to find out where is this response that the court's been asking you for, and you say, I will have it to you by this afternoon or first thing tomorrow.
yes.
I mean, I don't understand, I thought I had time. You were given time, and then you say, I'll have it today or tomorrow. I mean, without asking the court for more time,
I should
why
have
did you
done
think that you had additional time?
I'm having issues with time.
Sounds like we're having
management.
lots of issues.
I'm sorry?
It sounds like we're having lots of issues about multiple things, particularly not responding to
Yes.
this court.
And that-
I mean, I understand the hurricane and the tragedy in your family, and those are certainly issues that lots of people faced. But unless you inform the court of what's going on,
Yes.
we have no way of knowing, and all we know is that we have an individual who's ignoring our orders and ignoring your own deadline that you promised the court.
Are you handling other matters as well, or is this the only case you have?
I handle other matters. I'm in court. I'm in court both in Daytona or in DeLand. I continue to go to my the sessions with the dependency courts.
And are you
Also-
making those hearings and
Oh,
appointments?
yes, and I'm an attorney at Lytton for children with special needs. Like I said, this is not characteristic of me, and I'm grappling with it myself, so I can't apologize enough to this honorable panel about where I was in one point. I've been talking to my psychologist about that, and I've been going under
Following
treatment
up
for
what
that.
Judge Berger was saying, I mean, that phone call from the clerk
Yes.
there was a November 7 order that said you needed to respond to the,
Yes.
why you shouldn't be sanctioned. You were also to have filed the initial brief by November 27th.
Mm-hmm.
When you hadn't done that, the clerk's office here gratuitously called you up, kind of to throw you another lifeline, saying, what's going on? You got to do something.
I know.
And you told them that you would, and now we're
Do
here a few weeks later, you having not done anything about that, and you kind of put yourself in a position that there's not a lot of reason for us to think that you're going to comply with any other order that we're going to send or to do in this case. I mean, why should we believe you're going to do anything?
Your Honor, the first thing that I understood is that I was supposed to do the appeal, but I had filed the appeal and I had done the order so that an appeal attorney was assigned.
You had to file a response. I mean,
Yeah.
in part, you got that because this is a termination of parental rights case, which is an expedited case. It's not like some of these other cases, if you've been sitting here, that have taken some time. And when we're dealing with children, issues with children,
Yes.
then we try to expedite these. And so that's why we're asking for this information from you. And so, this case has gotten drawn out in a case involving a child, where that's another concern for us because of the
Yes.
nature of this case, and is why you are given you file the notice, which is why we're asking for this information. And we got nothing, so.
Well, have you filed the brief? I mean, it seems like there's something that tells us that if the brief's not filed by tomorrow, we're going to dismiss the case.
Well, the point that I'm trying to make is that I did not know that I had to do the brief because I had filed a motion for the court to assign an
That's
attorney.
when we ask you, where's the brief, by our order, that's where you should have said, I got Johnny Jump Up here appointed down by the trial court. I thought Mr. Jump Up was going to file the brief instead of nothing.
Well, the
And,
problem
to
that I'm-
date still, you
Okay.
filed nothing other really than the notice of appeal.
My mistake. I cannot answer this because like I said, this is not characteristic of my person.
How long have you been a lawyer?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been admitted to practice law in Florida?
25 years. 12 of those years, I'm gone on my own after being a public defender, and also I was the DCF attorney briefly.
Any other?
Nothing else.
Anything else? Anything else you want to say?
All I can say is to please give me a chance to work on this. I have spoken with the mother. I have spoken with the attorneys in the DCF and the guardian ad litem. This issue came up when we were trying to get